Hello, it is time for the weekly video again, and I realised that last week I said I didn't have much to say and it would be a quick video, and it went on a little bit. This week I'm not going to say anything right now. I don't know how long I'll go on for. I have a couple of things in mind I want to mention. We have an extra couple of subscribers recently. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Click links that I will provide. Do everything that ties us in with the podcast and with growing an audience, because that is what we're here to do. That is what we like best, and we like hearing from other people as well with their comments on the films mentioned here, mentioned in the podcast, mentioned as suggestions for things that may be of interest to us to cover. Preferably films that aren't appearing on every other podcast for, the next month or so. There are lots of great podcasts out there. It can get to a stage where there's so much crossover because there's a hot film out, or just coincidentally people have covered the same title. So we like to try and stay our different course, but obviously sometimes there's something that's just too good to resist. Next week coming up, Tyler has picked My Father Died as his choice. It seems very Tylery. I picked Royal Warriors, which is, now let me get this right, I believe it's the first in the Line of Duty series of films. Technically it's also sometimes counted as a second Yes Madam series of films, but there's a very fluid approach to this film series, and you've got Royal Warriors, Master Warriors, in the Line of Duty 3 and in the Line of Duty 4. I can't recall the subtitles for it. So it connects to that series and connects slightly to Yes Madam, but I think just in the way that really that was a popular film. Michelle Yeoh was in there, Cynthia Rothrock was in there. They made Michelle Yeoh more of the star in the Royal Warriors, which I'm looking forward to watching. And I hope you check it out if you have the Blu-ray that I have especially. Got a bit of post today. The night of the following day, They Might Be Giants. Apparently it's not just a pop band. Death of a Gunfighter, and Freud. If I drop this one, it's just a Freudian slip. Anyway, they arrived today. I have seen none of those movies. It's another fine selection of Indicator titles. I think as Indicator were becoming an interesting boutique Blu-ray label, I would pick and choose from titles that they were providing, and the ones that I would kind of miss would probably be, I can't remember if I ever picked up their release of, say, Christine, Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires, little horror movies that I'd already got on DVD and just thought, I'm not upgrading those, I'm happy with those there, I enjoy them, but I'm not rushing to seek them out. And then Indicator would get my interest with the box sets they did. I've mentioned them before, the superb Hammer sets, the Noir sets, everything they do. And I started to notice quite a more eclectic selection in their monthly releases, and then I would just start to pick up everything that they were doing. And that got to be pretty much a full habit. So I've tried to hold back again now recently, but almost every month, if they released a list of titles and I didn't know any of them, I was just like, I have faith in Indicator, go for it. I have faith in Indicator, go for it. Bundle deal, bundle deal. And the ones that I have managed to make time for so far, I have really enjoyed. And I will say, if you're tempted by Indicator titles but don't know much about them, if you do take a risk on a blind buy, if you find them on offer, if you find them out in the wild at a bargain price, then you also have the wealth of supplementary features that make them really, really worth your time and money if you have it. There's so much that contextualizes the movies, that offers you background info. They are, I believe they're probably now the top boutique Blu-ray company. They surpassed Arrow some time ago. People know how I feel about 88 Films, which they have done a lot of good stuff, and they've gained back a lot of goodwill over the past couple of years. So I'm not knocking them. I just think there was certainly a larger variance in quality with what you get in terms of the movies and the extra features. And then you also have Eureka and the Masters of Cinema range doing great stuff. I still tend to avoid Criterion, apart from the odd title. I just think they're great, but still, I think they are overpriced for what you get. I just think there's no reason for their individual titles to stay at that price, and I'd like to see them become a bit more affordable for everyone. Anyway, another slight tangent. I think I've now seen almost all of the movies that are being talked up for award season. If there are any that I'm missing, then my brain is not letting me access that information right now. So here goes. I think, I picked a Michelle Yeoh movie this week for the podcast for obvious reasons. It seems to be Michelle Yeoh's time to shine. It's been her year, and I can't recall where Tyler stands on her. I think he's a fan, but Dave and I have been in agreement that Michelle Yeoh is, that has been a queen already for many years. So to see her still getting love for her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once is very good. I think at Oscar time, the Academy will do their usual and tend to go for the performance that feels actorly, and will give it to Cate Blanchett there. But Tar has a good performance at the heart of it and is quite interesting, but I just don't get the love for it, because it does feel like 2 hours for a film that has the main message of, see, women can be bad too. I don't understand why you would choose that message going through your film, particularly in this time in our culture. It's very odd. I watched The Whale. I really like Brendan Fraser. I would love to see Brendan Fraser win lots of things for his performance, for his career in general. I don't think he's the best thing in The Whale. I think it's a good performance. I think he's helped by the fat suit. I don't think The Whale's a very good film. It feels too stagey. It feels like there's an obvious message by the end of it that we kind of had within the first 5 minutes. But the supporting cast are very good, and I've now gone blank with their names. So forgive me, but there's the woman who plays his helper. She was also in The Menu, and I think she was in, is it just called Downsizing? That strange little film that many people have probably forgotten about by now. And then the girl who plays his daughter, Sadie Sink is the girl who plays his daughter. She's a highlight in the film. Everything Everywhere All at Once is awesome. Michelle Yeoh's awesome. It's just awesome. And I don't want to mangle his name. I think it's Ke Huy Quan. Ke Huy Quan, I think. He's wonderful in that. I'm being very brave trying to say that without any editing skills to put me right afterwards. Banshees of Inisherin is wonderful, and I think, I'd be happy to see that win plenty of stuff as well. Colin Farrell's great, Brendan Gleeson's great, Barry Keoghan is superb, and oh god, is it Kerry Conlon? God, I should have everything noted down. Anyway, it's a very good film. I highly recommend it. If you're going to see just a couple of films from last year, if you're getting ready to to celebrate some of the films that might be getting praise heaped on them. I really recommend Banshees of Inisherin. Everything Everywhere All at Once has the fun factor as well as everything in it being awesome. But also After Sun, I've said it before, I'll keep saying it again, see After Sun, enjoy the central performances, just fall in love with the film, and it might have this moment and then start to fade away. Don't let that happen. Keep it sort of clasped to your bosom and appreciate it for the glorious, lovely thing it is. Oh, and I saw Women Talking, which was really good. Very difficult subject matter, really well handled. I believe it's written and directed by Sarah Polley, based on a book that was based on, I think, real events. Claire Foy, Rooney Mara, I think, is in there. Quite a few other actresses. Jessie Buckley, Ben Wishaw's in there, and I thought it was going to be an all-female cast. He's in there in a very good role. It's really good. It's quite difficult subject matter, but I think it handles it in a way that doesn't keep you sitting there miserable throughout the runtime. And you know, there are things that are sort of discussed and revealed that in a way, certainly for any kind of film approaching that subject matter, could keep you miserable there for the runtime, and deservedly so. But it's admirable that this doesn't do that. I think that's all for now. I've already said here and on the podcast that Till was wonderful, and Danielle Deadwyler was superb and deserves a lot of love. But we know what happened there. I think I've covered the other movies in different ways. Anyway, I look forward to the chat about the movies this week. I hope you enjoyed the Watery special last week, and I thought it was really good fun. And I hope if you're checking out the podcast, if you're new to the podcast, do just maybe start with last week's episode and work back from there. We don't have any connecting ongoing narrative. We are just the same every week. Until next time, bye.